If you listen closely in my videos, you can actually hear the deck collectors at my door. Hey there, kids, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Uncle Frank, and that you are having a great day. And in today's video, we are sitting back in a chair that is not squeaky, relaxing, and having a little conversation about The Legend of Zelda. Sort of. You see, I'm here in front of the Zelda shelf for a reason. It pertains to the topic I want to go over, and that is the relationship that you as a consumer, you as a customer, you as a fan of a product can have with the company that produces that product. And the fact that you can be a fan of something without fully supporting everything that the company behind it does. And I could have made this video talking about Magic the Gathering in general, but by now you guys know my opinions on Magic. You guys know how I feel about it as a fan versus as a store. But the interesting thing is, when it comes to The Legend of Zelda, I have no financial aspect to approach this franchise with. I engage with the Zelda franchise exclusively as a fan. I have been a fan of the Zelda series since I was a child. My very first video game I ever owned was Link's Awakening for the Game Boy. And up to this point, I have played every single mainline Zelda title. I collect a bunch of Zelda memorabilia. I read the manga. I collect these little amiibos. And yeah, I even watch the cartoon. I love this crap. In fact, my fun fact, when I first wanted to get into YouTube, like over a decade ago, the channel I wanted to make back then was going to be all about Zelda and how much I loved it. So, like, I think it's fair to say that I'm a pretty big fan of Zelda, and I don't really have any other angle to approach the franchise from besides being a fan. I don't plan on buying or selling any Zelda stuff, for instance. If I buy Zelda stuff, it's mine. As opposed to Magic, where I can look at Magic objectively from a store perspective, Yu-Gi-Oh! From a store perspective, Dungeons and Dragons from a store perspective. A lot of that stuff I can do that. Even other video games I can. But not with Zelda. And there's a reason that's important today. Because with Zelda, I can illustrate that even though I am a huge fan of the franchise, some decisions being made with regard to Nintendo as a whole and where the Zelda series will likely be going in the future leads me to make a decision, a private one, that I think is unfortunate, but has to be said. With the issues the Switch 2 has kind of built into the console as a whole, it's very likely that the last Zelda game, the last new Zelda game I've bought, it could be behind me. And that's a bit of a sobering thought. You see, I have zero intention whatsoever of buying a Nintendo Switch 2, and I likely won't be buying any other new Nintendo consoles going forward. Not just because of the inherent problems with the Switch 2, but also because Nintendo as a company lately has been not great. Not great. But this isn't really a video about Nintendo. This is a video about my interaction with a franchise that I do genuinely love. Because you can be a huge fan of a franchise. You can be a huge fan of a product, whether it's an anime, a TV show, a card game, a book series, whatever. And for whatever reason, you know, you can find yourself in the situation where you will have to decide for yourself whether or not you feel like continuing to support that series going forward, regardless of what's already come out. And I think there's no shame whatsoever, regardless of who you are or what your current situation is. I don't think there's any shame in either choice, either continuing to support a franchise, even if the company behind it has made some less than agreeable decisions, or hitting that hard line and walking away from a franchise you love just because some things the company behind it, or maybe even a person behind it, has done you find to be disagreeable. There's a lot of people out there who think you have to take one stance or the other when it comes to how you interact with your favorite hobbies. You know, there's a lot of, for instance, J.K. Rowling has become a very controversial figure over the last, I don't know, 10, 15 years for a variety of reasons. And a lot of people on both sides of the aisle are not happy with her for one reason or another. And a lot of those people seem to be under the impression that just because you don't like J.K. Rowling, that you must stop interacting with Harry Potter as a franchise. Don't get me wrong, if you want to stop liking Harry Potter because of Rowling and some of the things she's said or done, that's fine. But you can't go pressuring others into not liking what they like. Inversely, if you want to continue liking Harry Potter, despite what your opinions on Rowling as a person are, that's fine too. Again, as long as you're not trying to pressure others into liking what you like, despite how they feel about the author behind it. The same is true here. I love Zelda. I'm not going to stop collecting or playing or anything with the older Zelda games, especially like Majora's Mask, Link's Awakening, the Oracle series. I love those games. I love them a lot. I'm not going to stop interacting with Zelda, but it's very likely that going forward, I'm not going to be interacting with new Zelda products. New Zelda games are probably not going to be played by me. And that's fine. I'm a bit sad about it. I wish Nintendo was not doing some things right now that I don't agree with. But it's fine. And moving the conversation over to the world of card games, there are plenty of people who don't agree one way or another with what Magic the Gathering is doing with Universes Beyond. And it's very easy to get caught up in the anger and outrage of the internet. And it's very easy to put your opinion out there as a die-hard supporter or non-supporter of Universes Beyond. But if you can look back objectively and just say, hey, I'm not going to support this anymore, that should be the end of it. That should be, the kind of end of the statement. Because, like it or not, there are going to be, maybe not, in my opinion, long-standing fans, but there are going to be people who do enjoy Universes Beyond. I was just talking to someone earlier today who's been out of Magic for quite a while, but they are super stoked to get into it again because of the Ninja Turtles set coming out next year, because they're a huge fan of the Ninja Turtles, and they're super excited about the one of the art cards from the collector boosters they saw that they're already super excited about. And they're planning on buying Ninja Turtles cards just because they like Ninja Turtles, and that's fine. And I don't plan on buying any of that set for myself, and that's also fine. It's important to just understand that people are going to have differences, different things that they like, different things that they have opinions on. And in the world of collectibles, it's very, very okay to just accept those differences, accept those opinions, and move on. You, the fan, are not beholden to a corporation or a creator or anything like that. Vice versa, other fans are not beholden to your opinions or you to theirs. Remember, with whatever you engage with in life, whether it be finance, politics, your dating life, and of course your hobbies, at the end of the day, your decisions and your opinions are your own, and you can only ever hold yourself truly accountable for what you do and what impacts that those actions have. So at the end of the day, what I'm really trying to say here is, like what you like. Stop supporting what you don't want to support, or continue supporting what you want to support. Give it a good think. Give it a good thought. Your uncle's very smart. And always make the decision that feels right to you with no shame. Never let anybody else pressure you into making a choice, right? Anyway, glad we had this little conversation. I really just wanted to sit in front of my Zelda stuff, honestly. Look, we got a little deck of Zelda trading cards. This stuff's great. I love this franchise so much. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Leave a comment down below. Do you agree or disagree with what I've said today? Do you like Zelda? Do you like video games? I've got video games. Talk about Kirby or something. Anyway, that's all I got. Thank you guys so much for watching and have a great day.